Greetings. This is going to be a quick channeled messages, no 12 signs. I did 12 signs last night, so if you are looking for that, then you can go back to the previous video. The timestamps for all 12 signs is in the YouTube comment section. Alright, so what kept coming through is, yes sir, baby, I'm a boss. They say yes sir. So shout out to myself, that's my investor. So it's a song, Yes Sir by Russ, coming through very strongly. In it, this is silk nut polyester. Yes sir, baby, I'm a boss. I say yes sir. So shout out to myself, that's my investor. So there's something here, Spirit says let them watch, but they can't watch because they're blocked. So for some of you, it is safe to now block the people that have had perpetually blocked for years because they're so far out in the nosebleeds and you're so protected that your medicine actually will serve them. And even if they're not like they don't have the humility enough to come clean or poke their nose out of the closets, although some of them will, your medicine needs to be administered to them at this time. So there's something here about going through your old block lists, unblocking people, allowing yourself to receive new medicine. If you have been blocked for a while, Spirit says it could actually be because you're blocking yourself. You're blocking something that needs to occur. This could even be like by having somebody blocked, that person can't apologize to you, and their apology is going to be something that unhinges, that unlatches something within you. It is quite literally going to bring upon your unblockage. And so it's like the very thing that you thought was blocking you is actually going to bring you more forward, but it can't bring you more forward at this time because you have it blocked still. Confirmation with the bells over there. So yeah, let them watch, but you have to allow them to watch in the first place. So that's very strongly here. There's something here about, to walk amongst the army of Christ, it takes a different kind of strength. And, I spoke about that briefly in my text post before this video about how you're only as strong as your weakest pillar. You're only as strong as your weakest pillar. So you can have all the spiritual strength in the world, have a spiritual platform, but if your physical vessel is not strong and you do not keep it strong, then it will collapse, you will collapse. And if you're someone who only puts token into your physical vessel and your appearance and your body's health, but you don't tune into your spiritual health and take it seriously, then you will indeed collapse as well. And that is oftentimes, why we can see people who seem so incredibly healthy get taken away from certain ailments. And Spirit is saying, they get taken away from things because, again, they're only as strong as their weakest pillar. So there is something here on that. I don't know why this is doing like a split screen. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on with this. We're just gonna let that be. It's like doing some like split line thing. I've never seen it do that before. The number 731, which really adds up to 11, but when I see 731, it can be you feel like you have been teamed up against, you feel like you are one against many, you feel like an outcast, an outsider, so this live is for you. If you have ever resonated with that energy, this can be in business and family and relationships. You always feel singled out, and you are singled out, but there's something here, it takes every piece of the machine for it to operate. It is not whole without it. So again, at the beginning, it's like something here is not whole or complete, and it can't be completed because you have something blocked or someone blocked for your own protection. They have you blocked for their own protection perceived, but it's actually not protection. It's actually creating further discord. Again, confirmation with the wind chimes, which have been silent for a while, but started to go off whenever I started speaking on that. So there is something here about triangulation, triangles, groups of three. That makes sense because 731. So there can be confusion. 7 is a number about spirit, your spiritual path. There can be spiritual enlightenment here. Always being a student first, a teacher second, and the best teachers in the world know this, and so the best teachers are always students in all facets of their life, and they make sure, that they're always tuning into their weakest pillar. So Spirit is wanting to have you ask yourself, what is your weakest pillar? And allow yourself for the next 12 days to really focus on your weakest pillar and see how your blockages and other areas in life literally seamlessly become unblocked because of you focusing on your weakest pillar for 12 days. Something here about the number 12. I guess 1 and 2 adds up to 3. I'm hearing just the two of us. So something about the song Just the Two of Us. Someone could want it to be just the two of us. And I'm hearing the song You Spin My Head Right Round Right. I think that's, is that Flow Rider? I don't know. Okay, that's coming through. So if someone is spinning in your head, if you're spinning in somebody else's head, it does seem like there's going to be some sort of communication coming forth. There's also an energy here of spirit wanting someone to relinquish control. So if you've ever had struggles with possession, with being possessive, or people wanting to possess you, or people wanting to control you and you controlling other situations, or you just controlling yourself, which can be blocking other things because you don't want other things to get into you, okay, confirmation with the bells. It's like you don't realize how much of a control freak you are because you've controlled yourself your entire life so masterfully that you could never see just how in control you are of yourself. So something here about dropping from the head into the heart. In Osho, oh, I love my Osho book. Osho, the Book of Secrets. It's like a big book. It's incredible. Highly recommend you guys getting that or looking into it. But in Osho's Book of Secrets, he has a headless meditation where you gaze into the mirror, you allow your eyes to soften, and you visualize if your eyes and your perception were to drop from what you think is your head space thinking into your heart space thinking. So imagining your eyes kind of subtly dropping into your heart, seeing from your heart. Imagine your brain subtly dropping into your heart. Key note here, your heart is brain. So, you know, our oldest brain is our stomach, our second oldest brain is our heart, and our youngest brain is actually the one in our head. And it's a shame that we live in a culture and society that influences people to think with their youngest brain, and they're completely detached from their oldest brain, and, you know, hence all of the autoimmune and chronic issues and so many things that are occurring within the physical vessel because the stomach is not being addressed as the oldest and the wisest brain. You can't get your head brain correct or your heart brain correct until you start with the gut. You have to start at the core. And so something here about the color red, getting to the core, the root of the issue, the root of, you know, what your ancestral blockage is. This can even be something, I'm hearing the two families of Romeo and Juliet. So you can always be kind of like brought up against someone of a different culture, different cultures. There's something here about mending cultural differences. And so you can be like the person who is supposed to kind of marry and blend two cultures that have always been at war with each other. But there's something about your frequency that truly resides in both. And you can always feel like an outcast because you truly resonate and reside with both sides of the coin. But this is both sides of a coin where people are like, no, you cannot do that. That is not allowed. And yet it's funny because do they not realize that they're playing God by imposing that upon you and saying that you can or cannot do something? Like only God can really address that. Speaking of which, you know, there's something here of seeing you seem so carefree, careless, and it's like, no, you're not. You just understand that you own nothing. You truly have nothing, so nothing can be taken from you. And you have nothing, and nothing can be taken from you because you know that nothing is yours, it is all God's. And because you've given it all to God, you've given it all to Spirit, you've given it all to Source, no one can steal from God, no one can steal from Source, no one can steal from that. And so no one can steal anything from you, no one can take anything from you. And this is also why Spirit is saying confirmation with the bells going. This is why Spirit is saying unblock those that you've had blocked, release those blockages because you're only blocking yourself. Yeah, there's something here, and no one can take anything from you anymore when you've truly surrendered and given it all to Spirit. And you will always see karmic retribution, trust me. I have many stories in that regard, in that realm. But you do have to walk in faith, not by sight. And Spirit is saying this is a time to walk by faith, not by sight. All right, and that's just the messages for today, and I might come back on later for some more messages.